Hi guys, my name is Megan Potler. I'm from the Office of Enterprise Integration. I'm going to walk you through how to use the PMC data readiness collection tool. This video was made for VHA 10N program offices. So everyone from VHA 10N should have received an email that looks like this. The email contains 4 attachments, a zip file, which is the data collection tool, the user guide for the data collection tool. There should be a .csv file that's labeled 10N program offices, as well as a Excel file titled PMC Readiness Review BRM Codes and Definitions. So the first thing you're going to do when you receive this email is you're going to have to save the .zip file and the .csv file to your computer somewhere. So in order to do that, you just want to, right-click on the .zip file, select Save As. It's going to take you into a folder. You select where you want to save it. I'm not going to save it because I already have it here, but you would just hit Save down here. After you save it, this is very important, the .zip file will need to be extracted. So you see here where it says compressed zip folder, that this is the .zip folder. What you're going to need to do is you're going to need to, this is after you saved it. So right now I know I'm in the save box. So you would select save down here, then you would go back where you saved it. Then you would right click on it here and you'd go down to this button here called extract all. When you hit this button, you're probably going to get a couple pop-ups that are going to talk about, maybe the fact that you're going to lose some encryption capability if you extract it. Just select yes to all of those pop-up boxes until they're finished. And when you're done, you're going to end up with a folder that looks like this. And it's going to say file folder over here. Now, I'm going to go into the folder. I'm not going to go into it here because this is the save button. For whatever reason, Link doesn't allow us to show our file explorer, so I don't think that you're going to be able to see this. But what I'm doing is I'm opening up the folder type file folder with the title PMC Readiness Assessment Data Collection Tool. The first thing you're going to see is 2 file folders. You want to open the one that's called Data Cost. And then you should have 4 different elements in that file. You want to open the one that says index. It's preferable if you open this in Chrome versus Internet Explorer. I'm going to do the demonstration in Chrome. If you have Internet Explorer set as your default, in order to open it in Chrome, you just right-click on the index, go to the option that says Open With, and open it in Google Chrome. So the next thing you're going to want to do is go back to the email. Sorry. You want to go back to the email and you want to save this .csv file. So right click on it, save as, and save it to your computer somewhere. Let's go back into the application. After you open the application for the first time, it should look a little bit like this. If it does not look like this, if there's some other funkiness going on, you've got some error messages or something like that, just hit the refresh button up here. It'll reload the page and they should clear up for you. You're going to import. The first thing you're going to do is import a file. We're going to navigate to that CSV file that we saved to our computers. We're going to select it. It's titled 10N Program Office. We're going to open that file, and it's going to import. What it's going to give you is 10N Program Office org chart. In order to edit your office, a couple of things about the navigation over here. If you use your mouse, you can zoom in and out of the org chart. You can also click on it and move it around. So if you're just trying to move it to see where your office might be down here at the bottom or something like that, that's how you can move. So let's go ahead and go into one of these program offices to edit. Let's say we're going to edit the administrative operations. We're going to go to that header here. You'll see administrative operations. If it weren't on this first page, you can navigate through different pages down here. But this one's on the first page, so we're going to hit this blue pencil right here. Then we're going to go to the bottom of the screen. We're going to see that we're editing the administrative operations office. There's this blue button at the very bottom that says Edit Details. You're going to click on that. I'm going to take you into the Functional Details Edit page. This is a list of all of the functional areas that are covered within the PMC Readiness Assessment. They're already preloaded for you. So all we're asking you to do is to, I guess, let me back up here for a minute. If you hover over the titles of the functions, you'll see the definition pop up to the right-hand side. So you can read the definition there so you can make sure you're aligning your resources correctly. In order to edit one of these functions, you want to hit the blue pencil. You're going to have a screen pop up with 3 different sections. There's the FTE section, contract section, and the systems section. So right now what we're doing is we're aligning resources to conduct contract administration. So if there are any resources that we need to align within the Office of Administrative Operations that conduct contract administration, we would do that here. Let's just using an example here. Let's make it a 343 occupational series. You would select the GS level. Let's say GS9. Let's say there's 2 of them, and then you add that. Down here on the contracts, this is sort of support contracts that you might have that align to these functional areas. So we'll just do an example real quick. This PIID is basically the contract number, and then a short description of the contract. So contract admin support, and let's say it's worth $100,000, and then we'll add it. And then the last thing is systems. So this would be any system that are, that you use to support conducting contract administration. So let's just say it's ECMS. This is the VASTI ID, which is the VA Systems Inventory ID. I don't know ECMS's ID off the top of my head, but let's just make it 1, 2, 3 for now. I'm going to add that there. Now the next thing you're going to do is go down through each one of the functions and align your resources accordingly. So we'll just hit the blue button to move on to the next one. If you need to go back, you can just hit the blue button beside the one that we just entered. If you need to edit a line, you just hit the blue pencil beside it, or if you need to delete a line, you hit the X button. So once you have aligned all of your resources, you go down here to the bottom, and you hit the Save button. Now, I guess let me just cover this real quick. If you need to have multiple people collecting the data, you can do that. So let's say you're in here and you're editing the information for the administrative operations, but you only have the FTE data. Somebody else would have the contract data. You're going to perform this next task that I'm going to show you. So you would go through, you would align all of your FTE data, then you would come down here to the bottom, hit Save, and then what you would do is hit the Download button here, Download for Excel. That's going to give you an export file of the data that you just entered. Then you would send it over to the person that's going to enter the contractual data, and they would launch the tool just like we did at the beginning, and they would import that file that you sent them instead of the file that was attached to the email. But if you are entering all of the data and you don't need to send it over to anybody else, you would export the Excel and email it to our business architecture email box. That was in the original email. Oh. Down here, business.architecture.team@va.gov. So I think that covers everything with the tool. Obviously, if you have any questions, please feel free to email us. Also, the very high-level instructions for what I just reviewed in this video are located here in the email. If you start to follow the user guide, it'll take you through a couple of unnecessary steps. The additions office was nice enough to go ahead and create your org chart and pre-populate your functions for you. So let's take advantage of that. Anyway, I thank you for your time.